and welcome to the CTT pod. I'm joined by Emma. Good morning.
Morning, Vicky.
We're just going to have a chat today about benefit amputees, and I've got a few questions to go through if that's okay. I know it can be and there's lots of changes happening at the moment. So yeah, if you're happy, just a few things.
Brilliant. Yeah, thank you.
So which benefits are specifically designed for individuals who've undergone an amputation?
Okay, so I've got notes here that I'm going to be referring to because I don't want to miss out on any of the detail, right? But the benefits that you could specifically access due to an amputation would be the age-related are the disability living allowance, which is for under 18s. The PIP, the personal independence payment, is for 18 to 67, or basically the DWP retirement age. It's referred to AA, which is attendance allowance. That's over state pension age. And a lot of the benefits are available following an amputation, including employment sickness allowance, which is the new style. And there's also means tested as well. Of course, there's universal credit, which is means tested, and there's pension credit, which is means tested. The other one that everyone should be able to, it's more a discount rather than a benefit, but is the council tax band reduction.
Okay.
And if you haven't heard of that, that's just a simple call to your council tax office to get information on that, and you can come down a band on your council tax. So that's something I had not heard of. I thought it was pretty savvy with all of these things, but we didn't make use of it until a good 8 years into my husband's amputation.
Okay. I don't think I'd heard of that. I know that you can get discounts on your council tax if you're a single person, which I've done, but I didn't realise there was another one specifically for amputees that you do. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's worth just a phone call, isn't it, to find out?
Definitely. It's very simple. And the rule on it is, as far as I'm aware, and things may change as we're in a bit of a changing world at the moment, but as long as you've got a wheelchair in the household, that's the purpose for it. But there's other things to it. It's like aids. There's mobility aids. It's something to do with the space that you need, so it brings you down a band.
That's good to know. Yeah, that's great. Can you just guide me through the application process of benefits?
Yeah. Okay. So basically, after the initial contact from a family, so you'll phone DWP, that would be the best thing to do, and explain the situation. It's a claim phone number as well for the different benefit that you need. So you'll need to look that up. Of course, we can help you find that if you have any problems with it at all. But if you just search for the benefit and benefit claim number, say universal credit claim phone number, it will bring it up for you. Universal credit in particular is quite tricky to get hold of, so do let us know if that's tricky. You will also need our preparation sheets. So we have preparation sheets for the PIP, the AA, and the DLA. So remember, that's personal independence payment, attendance allowance, and disability living allowance. So yeah, we can send you those. So phone us once you've spoken to them, and we will start to prepare your application with you. We will ensure that a phone call is made to, you've got to keep on top of the DWP, sadly. Normally they'll send you a text message to confirm that the claim is in process. That's quite a good thing at the moment and seems to be being used more. But you always want to make sure, okay, you don't want to phone them up every day. In some instances you will, but we'll go into that later. But right now, when you're ordering it and you're first starting it, you just want to make sure things are moving, because to be quite honest, it doesn't really matter in terms of financially, because they will backdate from the time you requested the claim. However, you don't want to hang around because you've got to wait for the monies until they make a decision.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, Then once you know the forms have arrived, let us know, and we will set a convenient time and date to complete form filling over the phone. We have an incredible benefits team. They are all volunteers right now. It's a pilot ahead of us, hopefully gaining some funding to properly roll it out. So it's not unlimited. Their time is precious. However, they are all really passionate to help anyone with these things. They've been through it themselves and they want to ensure that everyone has the support they need. So let us know and we will book in a time, but we need to know ASAP so that it's not done in a rush. These things do take, sadly, a lot of time. So yeah, you're booking a phone call or a Teams call with one of our guys, and you'll go through the form with them. The disability forms can take around 1.5 to 2 hours to complete, and sometimes longer because families do become distressed. If anyone has filled out one of these forms before, it's a very demoralizing, dispiriting experience, but
Yeah.
we are here to help. So don't shy away from it. Let's tackle it together and get it done, because the sooner it's done and dusted, you can get on. So yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. We're there to support all the way through, aren't we? You know, right from the very phone call to say, I want to apply for this. What do I do? We can help with all
Absolutely.
every. That's great. What medical or personal documentation is needed to support the application?
Okay, so on the prep sheet that you'll receive, you'll get all the notes on that, and we'll also call the family to go through the prep sheet and give advice ahead of it and evidence, because there's always specific things for everyone is different, as we know in the amputee world, but as much evidence as possible. It is absolutely clear that these benefit claims have better success when they have more paperwork. So every
Yeah.
appointment letter, every surgeon's letter, every medication list, anything you can
Okay.
find. We're talking about GP, hospital consultants, physiotherapists, counsellors, prosthetists, OTs, and anyone else that you have been dealing with since your difficulties began. And it may not just be about your amputation. There may be lots of other things
Okay.
going on for you. You could also, what we like to advise people to do is include a personal statement from someone who knows you well. And that is significantly helpful and very powerful to helping the DWP realise what day-to-day life is like for that person.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're really important.
And it can be so up and down, can't it, for an amputee?
Yeah,
Like one day absolutely fine and you're going about your day with no problems, and other days you can't or move properly. So yeah, so I guess that personal statement gives a real clear day to day, like you say, of what people go through. That's a really good idea. Have you assisted in completing benefit applications and appeals?
yes, we have, and very proudly so. Our team has an incredible success rate of helping families who have fallen into the depths. There is one family who has recently received a very successful outcome after a hideous, over, a good long while, we're talking years, waiting for their benefits to be put right. And the tribunal actually fully agreed with our team and backdated all the way back to 2023. So a huge
Wow.
victory for all of us, really, but so sad that that family had to go through that. I mean, it's a painful experience. So yeah,
Yeah.
we're very used to dealing with different things like that, and we'll be with you every step of the way. However, we want to do everything possible to avoid that. So call us before you fill in the form. It's so worthwhile, and particularly as we enter this unknown time, it's going to be even more important.
Yeah. Yeah. What an amazing outcome for the family, though. That's
Yeah,
incredible.
it's incredible.
So what does the assessment involve? How can we prepare families for it?
Okay, so normally you'll receive a text message to say date and time has been set, and this should be followed up by a letter. So keep an eye when you're
Okay.
going through any of this, keep an eye on your text messages, make sure the DWP has got your correct phone numbers, email addresses, address as well, because simple mistakes can happen. Hence why, if you're not hearing anything, just give them another call and check in. You know what the post can be like these days as well. Most assessments are being carried out on the phone, but we do understand this will be going back to face-to-face assessments soon. I think I've actually, well, not me, but my husband has had one in the house. I'm sure that was during COVID, which was bizarre. Oh, or maybe just before COVID. We were in our little bungalow. And he was very, very good, actually. Very, very good. The assessment usually lasts 30 minutes to an hour. And we asked that the family keep the completed benefit form handy to read through as a reminder of its contents in the days leading up to the assessment. So just that, what you'll have is when we complete the benefit form, you'll get a copy of it so it can always be referred to, you know. Keep calm and don't panic. It is hideous. I'm not gonna lie, I've been to a fair few of them with my husband. The dread of it, I know everyone will relate to. It's not nice, but we are here, and it is necessary to ensure that we avoid any fraud from anything going on. However, we don't believe that any of our lot should have to go through it, but there we go. It is what it is, and it's important that we get you what you're entitled to. So we're here.
I suppose it's adding like another layer of stress to an already stressful situation, isn't it? That seems unnecessary, but
very unnecessary and hideous. And for that reason, don't go on your own and don't dress up. So don't think, oh, this is a day out, you know, which I'm sure no one is thinking. You know, you might want to go out for lunch after, but don't, you know, be real. And I have to say that from a very, very personal experience. My husband's benefits were taken away from him purely because I can remember it so vividly. He went in there and he was trying to show how well he was doing. I mean, second to that, the doctor who was interviewing him completely lied on every page. We've got her report, absolutely every page. This is a few years ago now. This is before we started Still Bones. But every single page she said he can move his ankle. It's triple fused ankle, like can't move it. Said all sorts of things. But he very much went in there. I mean, he wasn't dressed up to go out, obviously, but he very much went in there trying to show, look how well I'm doing, you know. And it sadly, it's just not the way to do it. Be real, say how things are day to day, on your worst day. You know, it's really important they capture the reality. There are cameras at every assessment centre as well, watching you before you arrive. Wow, it's like a
trying to catch you out. My
goodness. What a lovely society we're in, guys. But it's fine. We can battle it together, everyone. Don't worry. Again, if it's over the phone, don't minimize it. Don't be by yourself, and don't worry if you get upset, you know. The assessor will ask you questions about your general health, time it takes to shower, hobbies, interests. They will also ask you about the activities listed in the disability form criteria. If you're not sure what to say, ask the assessor to repeat the question and take your time. This is your assessment. You take your time, you take deep breaths, ask for a break if you need it, ask for water. This is about you. End of, you know.
Fabulous. How does employment status affect eligibility disability benefits?
Okay, so this is job dependent. If you're doing a job as a labourer, you might almost certainly won't be eligible for disability benefits. You know, they're not going to give you PIP if you can go and build a house. You know, most disability benefits at the moment are not means tested, but are based on your ability to complete daily tasks. So this would depend on the type of employment you undertake. If you have a more sedentary type of job, I mean, I'm just picking out examples from the air, but call centre job, work from home job, you know, more flexible jobs. You might be self-employed and work the business around what you do. You know, it really depends. ESA and UC is still applicable, but it will depend on the amount of hours you work or by the income you've earned, because remember, they're means tested. However, any disability benefits will be judged on your ability to perform the activities listed in the disability form criteria. So, yeah.
Okay, that's really great. I know Universal works, in my opinion, only mine, quite well at
I think so too.
as you're working, the you get, if you're fitter and you're able to work more, then obviously the amount is a bit less. If there is a time when, I don't know, if you've just had an operation, or you're having treatment, or something's very painful and you can't do as much, then the benefit, and it feels quite smooth, that's you don't have to you don't have to ring someone and to explain everything. You don't have to go through what's happened. It just does it automatically, which, it works. I think it works.
Yeah, I know, I agree
So,
with you, Vicky. And I was very scared. I avoided going on to Universal Credit for at least 2 years. I was very, very
yeah,
scared to go on to it. I thought it was going to be hideous. And I love that. And I know many of my other
yeah,
friends who are also self-employed as well. It really works very nicely
yeah,
and flexibly around the family life,
yeah,
and encourages you
absolutely.
to work and get on as much as
Yeah,
possible. I think it
yeah,
works really well. Again, that is just
yeah,
our opinion, but we are
yeah.
fans of
I
that. I
think,
think way forward for
yeah,
me.
I definitely am. And I think particularly with a young family, and being an amputee, it
Yeah,
takes the pressure off a little bit.
yeah,
Just that you've got that backup if something, if I had to have an operation, or if something went
yeah,
wrong with my leg, or it just takes the pressure off a little bit, which is amazing.
yeah.
So are there
Absolutely.
any other forms of support or resources available for amputees beyond the financial benefits?
Well, there's
We
us,
know a big
steel burns. There's us. Yeah, there's us.
of,
Um, There's also support groups, and there's lots of amputee charities. I mean, we are recording this in April, which is limb loss, limb difference. Hang on, limb loss, limb difference awareness month. That's it. And you will see there's a website called www dot, I think it's just limdifferenceawareness.co.uk, and that you'll see it on our socials. That lists all the different charities and organisations working with the amputee community. There's heaps of amazing voluntary groups locally that might be in your local area. So just Google Ask Us. We will probably, if you want something locally and we haven't got a meet up there, just ask us, because we will know someone who's in that
yeah,
local area. Or we might say, let's help you do it. Or let's find someone
yeah,
who can do it if you're not up for that. But
yeah,
yeah, there's lots. There's absolutely lots.
that's great. And can I just ask, so it's gone through, you've got the form, you've filled it out, you've put it in, everything's done. If someone's application is denied, what's the process for review or appeal?
Okay, so let us know immediately. Don't sit on it.
Okay.
Let us know immediately. Um, we'll talk you through the next stages. Start with a mandatory reconsideration and collect any new evidence. So it could be more medication, more. It could be just you need to make the extra evidence a bit more bigger. It's really important. A lot of people will not challenge the denial, and it's really important that
Okay.
you do and that you go through it. The
Okay.
mandatory reconsideration. I wish I had the figures on this, but I want to say something like 8 times out of 10, around about, the more than the more mandatory reconsiderations are overturned than what they're not. Does that
Mhm.
make sense, Vicky?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
majority of them are overturned and
Okay.
allowed through. Obviously, we are going into
Well,
different
that's really
times
good.
now, so we need to be careful of that. But there's also a tribunal stage. I've been through a tribunal myself. It's not a nice situation, but in our tribunal, Well, my husband's tribunal, he went in there. The judge asked me not to say anything because I started chatting, so he said shush. And he said to my husband, how often do you go shopping? He was a very clever judge. How often do you go shopping? And my husband went, I don't. Like, I would never go shopping. Like, I can't. I would never want to go into the supermarket, and it's not choice. He's not well enough to do that. And I think that was within a minute. And the judge went, yeah, it's fine, it's overturned, done. So that's not all of them.
Amazing.
That's not all of the situation.
Yeah.
And this was years ago. This is 2016, I believe, or 2015. I can't quite remember, but a long time ago. Do you know what I mean? So but it's a horrible experience. But we had a brilliant man from the Village Benefits in Cambridgeshire helping us. He was called Jerry. And I'd always try and see him, but he was just lovely. So that's why it's so. And I thought I knew the system. I thought I really, oh yeah, I know how to do this. No.
Yeah.
I needed support. So never be afraid to reach out for support on that. And we're here to help.
That's it. That's so important, isn't it? Particularly, I think, that peer support, people that have gone through it before, they know, tips and tricks and ways that people try, like you say, to catch you out or things like that. So it's really good to have people on your side. How do the changes in their health personal situation affect their benefits?
Okay, so any changes whatsoever, for better or worse, you must inform the DWP. Failure to do so could result in criminal action being taken. We have to be very clear on that. It's really very important that it's a phone call, it's a chat to them, and yeah. I mean, if you're suddenly having a very, very good day, let's just see, let's just see yourself over a week. If maybe you have an operation, something gets suddenly resolved once you're recovered, which is amazing. It can happen with amputees very, very well, a lot. So, be mindful. If you're querying any of that, please ring us and talk it through with us.
Yeah.
That's probably the best thing
Just
to
get
do.
some advice.
Yeah.
How long do benefits last? Is there a process for renewing them?
Okay, this seems to be different for everyone. I've heard people having lifelong awards. I think this will change though. This really seems to be very different. So you are generally given a review date on your award letter. If your award date states 3 years, you'll receive a renewal letter roughly 6 to 12 months before your present award runs out. Don't panic if it comes earlier, because where things are changing, they might want to have a little sort out or try and get through a backlog and start fresh. We don't know. But some people can have it I know people have had it for 2 years. I know someone who's had it for a year. I know someone who's had it for 5 years. I know people who've got them for lifelong. So it's really different, guys. It's up to the DWP really. So there is no set standard, which is a shame. It would be good for them. They must have one, but it would be good to let us know, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd be great. That's amazing. Is there anything else you think we need to know, particularly at the moment with changes and things?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just talk through some of the red flags that I've got jotted down to make sure we don't forget it. So just highlighting, a company or charity offering assistance in completing forms guarantees success in getting PIP. If they're guaranteeing, because we're not guaranteeing success. Our team is exceptional at helping people, but there is no guarantee whatsoever in this. We can only support, and sadly there are the odd cases that don't receive an award, and also there are the odd cases that we will have a very honest conversation about and say, well, we can't support that because you're building a house in a week. Do you know what I mean? Or something, So we have to have, and the conversation we have are very open and honest, and be prepared for that. But we respect you to do that, and obviously we expect the same back. No one can promise an award. We would never do that. Even with the hideous case I spoke about earlier, we all thought there's no way it cannot be successful, but no way were we going to promise anything to that family because it's not responsible. And if any company or charity request large upfront fees, or any fees for that matter, to assist you in completing the forms, I would steer well clear of them, because that's just not what is morally right, in my opinion anyway. If a company or charity rushes through your application, these can't be rushed, sadly. It does take some time. When I say time, we're talking about what's the phone call, 2 hours at most, 2 to 3 hours if it's tricky. We're talking, get the form, you know, in the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot to invest to ensure you put your case forward in the best possible way.
That's it. That's
and
it,
also,
to do it properly.
Yeah, and a good advisor will take time to understand your needs. But as I've mentioned throughout this, we are in a changing world globally and in this country. And unfortunately, they do need to, the country needs to reduce its outgoings, and they need to ensure that everyone who needs the support is getting it. They need to combat fraud, and also for all sorts of reasons. We are in that situation, sadly, that all of it is coming under scrutiny, but we do not know anything yet. So do not panic yet, and do not worry yet. If you are concerned about this, do not hesitate to ring us, and we'll ask one of our benefit team to ring you and go through it with you. But the government does propose the proposed changes to PIP that will affect the daily living component, but not the mobility component. So if that gives people a little shadow of hope, the care element is going to come under scrutiny, but the mobility component, which I believe is far more black and white than probably the care, is not. So that gives us a little shadow of hope, and we will update you as soon as the changes are cast in stone. There's no point, we've held off making any announcements, but we certainly want to reduce people's anxiety. That hold tight, none of it's happening yet. We know no timelines. There's going to be a whole piece of work. I don't think they're going to move quickly, but what are we in now? Well, okay, we're only just April, but we don't know the answers yet, and we will soon, and we'll update you as soon as we do.
I think the thing I've taken away most from what you've been talking about is, if there's any concerns, any questions, anything, just let us know, get in touch. And then one of our amazing benefit team can get back to you and just talk through things, make it all a little clearer for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. And I just have one last question, which it would be nice to ask all of our guests when they come on the podcast, and a little bit of positivity. What's one thing that you're really grateful for today?
Oh, that's a lovely question. I love that. Okay, one thing I'm grateful for. Well, at the moment I can see blue skies and sunshine. So yeah, grateful for that. I think we all are today. But yeah, it's really beautiful to see it. In a changing world, I think that will do us all the world of good.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Emma. That's been really
Thank you, Vicky.
helpful, and I'm sure lots of people will get a lot from it. Thank you.
Thank you.